Last year, I announced I was making my own dinosaur horror game, Fear of Reptiles. It's a game where you wake up alone in the world, only to discover you're not actually alone in the world, and it's now infested with dinosaurs. But I realized in the past 7 months before this whole marketing kind of happened, I haven't really talked much about the game or what it is. And I'm sure there's been a lot of questions about it. Like, what's the gameplay like? What's the story like? Why am I always dropping these random images of just PNGs of like papers with weird writing on it and stuff? Well, rather than leaving everybody in the dark, I want to go over some topics about the game in today's video and welcome you to the world of Fear of Reptiles. One of the biggest questions I've actually gotten about the game is, why am I going with a chapter-based release? What do I mean by chapter 1? Well, to actually answer your question, it's quite simple. I have a very sophisticated release strategy that only I will ever understand, and it's going to be just because of money. Unfortunately, I am the only developer I have on hand, meaning I'm going to have to pretty much do everything by either doing it myself or freelancing somebody to help me do it. And since I really don't have my own development team, it's going to take probably years to actually come up with a full 10 to 12 hour game. I mean, it probably still released before GTA 6. Please let that age like milk. But now that we understand the scope of the game, let's go ahead and dive into the gameplay. So, what is the gameplay? I'm aiming for a first-person stealth game inspired by games like Alien Isolation, Amnesia the Bunker, where the enemy is going to have a stalker-like AI where it's trying to hunt you down, figure out where you are. It's going to be a lot more than just patrolling around the area and hoping it can get you in its line-of-sight cone that it has in front of you. I looked at games I've already kind of played on the channel like Tempest Triad and Unknown Tames, along with some other dinosaur horror games, and I found something very similar. Their AI is very basic. Now, this isn't a hit or anything on those games. Obviously, those games do their own thing in their own manner, but I feel like we could definitely do something more with dinosaur horror games where we could tell a good story and then also have great and exciting gameplay to go with it. See, in these games, it's a lot of just, oh, the raptor patrols around the area and hope it catches you in its line of sight and you have to avoid it. While it might sound a little bit similar to what I am going for, I'm adding a lot more spice and flavor to it. But the problem is a lot of this AI is predictable, and as soon as you recognize the pattern, you pretty much turn it into not scary, and you're just trying to get through the level now knowing the puzzle. Oh, the raptor can't get to me if I'm hiding behind this desk because it's not going to walk on that path. Oh, the raptor's on a set path, so it's going to walk from this room to room 2 to room 3 and then back to room 1, so I have a set amount of time before it actually comes back. This is what I mean by kind of predictable, because once you kind of recognize the pattern, it becomes predictable and not very scary. And this is where Fear of Reptiles comes into play. See, with my game, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Alien Isolation and how this xenomorph works. That AI just doesn't roam around to random points hoping to catch you in its line of sight. No, it's weighing which rooms to go to. It's listening for you if you're making noise. It remembers where you like to hide. Instead of you remembering its patterns, it remembers your patterns. Now, not to build up expectations or anything, but obviously I'm not going to go that far. The xenomorph is a very complicated AI, and, well, it'd probably still take me another 2 years to get that done. But there are still things I can do to make it similar to that, to still have that feel of it's not just randomly patrolling on a path. No, it is using its senses to find you. So let me introduce you to a dinosaur that I haven't introduced yet, and that is going to be the Utah Raptor. This guy is going to be our xenomorph of the game. It uses its smell ability to figure out where you might be. It stalks the area, weighing which rooms it's been to and which ones it hasn't checked in a little bit, or where it's seen you in the past. It listens for you. It can actually hear where you are. And something I'm actually really proud of, it's able to actually go and check possible hiding spots where it thinks you might be, or worse, knows where you might be. That way, as long as it's around, nowhere is safe and you can die at any second, causing a lot of tension to the player, especially the track that plays when it's nearby. I think it's actually pretty cool. Well, that was Mr. Utah Raptor, but what about the little Velociraptors? Well, I mean, I hate to underwhelm you with the Velociraptors if they're your favorite dinosaur, but their AI is a little more lame. See, originally it was only supposed to actually be the Utah Raptor in this chapter, but when I realized the chapter was really short and it felt like it needed something else added to it, I came up with the idea to actually add the Velociraptors to the level. I mean, after all, it's a dinosaur horror game, not a Velociraptor or a Utah Raptor horror game. Otherwise, you know, that would fit the criteria. So I decided to add their little level to the game. Now, we've seen the Velociraptor before. As a matter of fact, we've seen it way back in the first teaser, and also the video level I released, so you kind of get the gist of how the Velociraptor level works already. Oh, and if you haven't actually checked that out, make sure to check it out. I'll pin it up there or something if I can. I don't know if I can actually pin it up there or not, actually, so make sure you actually go check out my main channel, Below the Nom, where I play all kinds defense games and stuff, but I do have it up there. But yeah, they're a bit more of the classic AI. They patrol around the area. They'll chase after you if you catch in your line of sight. Now, even though they're supposed to be a little bit more basic, they do have a couple more tricks up their sleeve, so definitely make sure to watch out for their tricks. I'll actually spoil one right now, just kind of set up what it kind of is. I actually gave them a stalk ability. What I mean by stalk ability is, the player can be busy doing something. They could be looking for a fuse or a raptor or whatever. They're focused on a different raptor. But what they don't know is their back is exposed and another one behind them sees them. And rather than just immediately charging forward at them at full speed, they instead are going to quiet their footsteps and slowly creep up on you without you realizing. It's one of the little things I threw in there that's actually really cool, and it adds a little bit of character to them. They're dumb, but then they're also smart. All right, we went over the 2 dinosaurs that are now in the game, but what is the player going to be doing? What's the game's gimmick? Poppy Playtime has the grab pack, Alien Isolation has the motion tracker, and Amnesia the Bunker has the wind-up light thingy that's really annoying and apparently actually did exist. Well, I decided to give the player one of the most creative things that's never been done before in any horror game. The flashlight. Yeah! All right, time to confess. There was originally going to be kind of one of these gimmicks in the game, and actually I was going to end up going with a motion tracker. But having already pulled so many simulators from the Xenomorph and Alien Isolation, all my Utah Raptor, and other, of course, features in the game, I didn't want to feel like I was just copying the game. Plus, why on earth would there just be a random high-tech motion tracker just laying around in a construction yard? It would make no sense. And of course, being the creatively bankrupt person I am, I decided to scrap that idea. So instead, I went with something a little more basic. Sure, it's been a feature in other games before, but I went with a basic fuse system. But it had a little bit of a twist to it. See, in the Velociraptor video that I released, you'd have to go in and pick up fuses to open a gate and get to the next level. Sure, yeah, in an introductory level, that works. However, once you actually get to the construction yard, there's going to be an extra step if you want to actually be able to power something. So how, when I clicked all the fuses I need to power up the fuse box, can I open this gate? Is that a wire? I added a pullable wire to my game. You have to actually get to a certain spot to plug into to open the gate. A bit of an extra step and adds a little bit more gameplay to it and a little bit more risk. You have to still actually go out of your way to try and plug it in and power the gate. I mean, I realize you kind of have to walk your way to the gate anyways, and it might be kind of pointless. But I solved this by making it more unique. Oh, you want me to tell you how I did that? With everything I've already spoiled? Yeah, if you want to see how I've implemented the wire system into actually working into this game, you're gonna have to wait and actually play the game when it releases. In the meantime, I'm gonna go over another system that I actually added to the game called the generator. See, it's nighttime, and it's really dark, and as you've actually learned the Velociraptor level, your flashlight is a dead giveaway you're right there. However, since everything's revolved around power in the construction yard, there is one thing you can use, and that's the generator that actually powers the lights to the entire facility that you have right there. When powered on, of course, the lights will be on, and actually it'll scare away the Utah Raptor and have it be out a lot less. And of course, you as a player can find fuel around the map to give to the generator to power the lights and scare it off. But of course, something that did cross my mind since the game actually isn't released yet is kind of updating the inventory system. What I have in place right now is you pick up one item and it stays in your hand, and you can't actually hold another item until you drop that one. What I thought about doing was maybe doing an inventory like Minecraft, where you have a bunch of slots you can put in and allowing you to hold multiple items. But I don't know if it would make it too easy or whatnot, just be able to grab everything when it's right there. So definitely leave a comment what you think about that. But anyways, I think I've spoiled the game enough today, and obviously I want to leave some surprises for when the game releases. But if you want some actual backstory on the game and kind of dive into the lore of Fear of Reptiles, I actually am running an ARG currently. You can find the clues to the puzzle on my post tab on my YouTube channel. And hey, while you're there, go ahead and subscribe. It's completely free and would help out a lot. But yeah, the game is actually almost done. I'd love to hear some feedback based on what I told you today. But until next time, guys, leave a like and make sure to wishlist. I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can find the game on Steam. But until next time, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.